Hello, and welcome to From Finland with Love.
Hi,
Have you made food?
I have.
You have?
And a lot.
Okay. But before we get into that, we thought that let's make a Moonraker celebration video. Because it's a movie that we both like a lot, and we also feel that it has to be defended because there's a lot of people who don't appreciate it so much. But I was thinking, since you've made a lot of fancy food and we're going to celebrate this talking about this movie by also eating some Moonraker food, is it okay if I go and slip into something a little bit more fancy?
I would love that.
Just a second.
Surprise for me as well.
Now I'm gonna go into one of my favorite shops in Porvoo. It's my butcher. We're gonna buy some bone marrow that James Bond eats in Moonraker. And this is actually like stepping back in time. It's really old school. It's fantastic.
All right.
I mean, you've seen the movie.
I have. It's perfect.
Thank you. Not ridiculous at all.
It didn't look this ridiculous in
No,
the movie.
he had a black hat and actually he probably didn't have a towel.
But hey, anything looks good on Roger Moore.
It's
and
true.
Klaus.
Oh, thank you, darling. Paid advertisement. I have the Moonraker watch. If you want to have this, or should I have it? Maybe
you should have it, yeah.
Let's
Otherwise
have
I shoot somebody by mistake.
Let's have a more subtle style. Okay, so the movie. We thought that a good way of celebrating the movie is to talk a little bit about it and to eat food from it. There's just one problem.
There's no food in the movie.
Actually, the cucumber sandwiches are mentioned, and
There.
Drax offers Bond some cucumber sandwiches.
He does.
Tries to press him with
Yeah.
some sandwiches. But Roger Moore, James Bond declines. So actually, I think it's actually just to tease him a little bit because he's probably, a snob and thinking that these cucumber sandwiches are pathetic, and I think it's a little bit of a...
Oh, okay. I thought then again that Drax wants to become, upper class, and he thinks the Brits are.
Yeah.
And that's why he enjoys the afternoon tea and the cucumber sandwiches.
Oh, might be. We're going to try the sandwiches that didn't appear in the movie. So now we all get to know how they taste.
Yes.
If James Bond would have said yes. He would probably have thrown up then later in the centrifugal thing if he would have had them.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
should we try?
Yes. But they're pretty teeny tiny. Maybe he could make it.
It's bread,
It is?
it's cucumber,
Yes.
it's
And two other things.
butter, and a bit of salt.
Yeah. I used to have these when I was a kid. I love them. But you do have to take the peel of the cucumber and not eat it like this.
This is the reason they are
And then take the crust of the bread, of course. What do you think?
not so super elegant when I ate it. But the taste is fine.
It's
fine.
good.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah,
it's
it's
very
crunchy and
fresh
nice.
and
Yeah.
nice. Very simple sandwich.
Yeah. But I have one maybe favorite thing about the Moonraker movie.
Yeah.
And that's the starting of a fantastic friendship with Bollinger and James Bond. It started in that movie. I've read.
Okay. So you
Yeah.
know this stuff.
So, should we taste?
It's easier to open bottles without this. Or maybe I could shoot off the cork.
Maybe I can open it.
Maybe you can. So, I love the movie in many aspects. I was a kid when it came to the movies, and I remember I watched the lobby cars in the window and the posters, but I didn't get to see it because I wasn't old enough. But that's probably when I fell in love with James Bond. I saw those posters. I still think they are fantastic, those posters. There's many versions of it, but they are really skillfully drawn and designed. And you also often see in the background, you see this Ken Adams fantastic sets. And there's some magic in that. So
Absolutely.
why don't we drink to that?
Let's drink to that magic.
Well, here's to us.
So many people think that Moonraker is ridiculous because Bond goes into space and he should never go there. But I was 10 years old watching the fantastic posters and lobby cards, and for me it was just looked amazing. And I didn't know what James Bond was, so if he goes to space, fine by me. So then I got to see it much later. Do you remember when you've seen Moonraker? Do you remember? Was it on a VHS
No.
or do you think you probably not seen it in the movies?
No.
Yeah.
No. I think I've seen it, when I was like
Yeah.
18 or something
Yeah.
like that. But I was definitely okay with going to space. Where James Bond goes, Lotten goes too.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. So then I saw it at some point, and it probably wasn't the first one I saw. I think the first one I saw in the movies was For Your Eyes Only, and I still love it. It's one of my favorites. It's actually Moonraker, For Your Eyes Only, and Live and Let Die. But there's other good ones also, so it's difficult to say. But those three are somehow my favorite. And one thing is always that what's the best Bond movie and what's a favorite Bond movie. They didn't have to be the same.
Oh, true.
And I understand for someone who's younger, who's seen maybe Daniel Craig's movie first, or Timothy Dalton, or something like that. The Roger Moore movies might look a little bit ridiculous, but then again, it's all about, we usually love the movies we are growing up with, and this was one of those that I grew up with. And I think it was so fantastically exciting with the Moonraker, because that was a real thing at the moment, and they actually were thinking that maybe they can launch the first space shuttle at the same time with the movie.
Oh, really?
But actually they were 2 years apart. So the movie came out in 1979, and they launched the first space shuttle in 81. Okay. So it was pretty close. So in a way it was cutting edge technology. So in that way you read in all magazines about the space shuttle, and now James Bond is going with it. So actually the ridiculous things are, it's over exaggerated, the thing that they could have had a space station and all of that. But the laser guns are maybe the most ridiculous thing.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's in a way possible. The centrifugal thing that kind of simulates the
Sure.
gravity and all of that we've seen in other movies also. But back to the beginning, and maybe we get to taste something, because
Let's.
the thing is that there isn't much food in the movie.
No, but in the books there are quite a lot. And as we've talked before, James Bond in Ian Fleming's books is actually quite the foodie.
Yeah.
So there they have a lot of food, and James Bond and M goes and eats quite a few times even in the books.
So we have then taken food from the book, and the book and the movie are actually two different things. The story in the book is totally different.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we celebrate Moonraker, and we celebrate the movie, and we will borrow some food from the book.
Here we go. This is actually something that M had at the restaurant in the book when they were trying to catch Drax. So he got persuaded to have some. Actually, I put some lemon first.
Okay.
This is roasted bone marrow, so it's mainly fat, but delicious fat. So you want to break it down a little bit with lemon. We have some amazing fish roe here, chopped shallots. There you go.
Okay. So bone marrow is, I don't know, it's maybe not the most usual food in Finland.
No,
And
but it should
some
be.
might think it's a little bit disgusting, the thought of it.
Sure.
But let's see. I'm gonna try it like this.
It's
Quite
good.
amazing.
And the combination with the fattiness and the roe and the shallots and the lemon, it's just delicious. And it's a very small, nice starter that really gets you going for more flavors. Well, I'm happy I like it.
very nice. It's a fancy restaurant. You get the new napkin every time you need one.
Yeah. We got 3 Michelin stars.
Yeah, at least. Moonraker, the movies, that's one that we quite often put on because there, in my opinion, there aren't any kind of boring or irritating parts. With some movies, it's like, oh, this is so good, this is good, and this is kind of, you know, a little bit like tiresome some parts. But with this movie, there's actually nothing. It flows in a nice way. The locations are really nice, and it's kind of there's something exciting going on all the time.
True.
Without being like too much action. Some movies have so much action that it's kind of you get tired, or then it's somehow sequences that are boring. But this is all the time visually fantastic. It's all the time. It's elegant. The movie has a lot of elegance in it, and it has tension. And that's one important thing in the movie is that you have this thing that James Bond goes and visits someone, and he tries the centrifugal thing. He's kind of a guest, or he's you know, at some point they are captured.
Yeah.
And then they, of course, James Bond is never killed, so they always leave him somewhere to die, so the adventure can continue. But it has this tension. It has a lot of this tension, and Drax is my favorite villain. Yeah. And his brand, the brand, the yellow, the logo, and everything how it's designed. I mean, it's the scene designer, Ken Adam, and then there's Derek Medding, who's done all the miniatures and everything, and then it's the costume designers and everything, and that kind of creates this very, very strong. I don't know if any other villain has that a strong brand.
True.
That you have the logo everywhere, repeating all the time, and the yellow color and everything, and it somehow it's really nice and really beautiful. And even when he's somewhere, you know, in Venice, and there are these like wooden boxes, they all have this
Branded.
logo on everything, and it just
It's
feels
amazing.
so
True.
somehow. And also that Hugo Drax is a really cool character. I mean, he's really kind of mild-mannered. He's really kind of feels scary, I think.
Yeah.
And you see his power immediately with the dogs. He throws them a few beefs there, and the dogs, they don't even touch it before he does this.
Yeah.
And then they eat it. And that also shows that he has so much power.
Yeah, he's a psycho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The human race, as you know it, will cease to exist.
And I also love the woman,
Yeah.
Holly Goodhead.
Yeah.
I think she's one of my favorite James Bond women. She's really nice and beautiful, and she's reflected as a smart woman.
Yeah.
And actually fools James Bond also in the beginning. He doesn't know she's like a rivaling agent, does he?
Well, and fools him again in a way when he kind of finds out.
Exactly.
Then he finds all the gadgets, and she's a CIA agent, and then she sleeps with him and pretends to sleep when he leaves, and immediately she leaves. I mean, she's in a way on top of things all the time, and it feels a little bit like you don't know if James Bond is using his charm on her or it's the other way.
That's true.
And in a way they are equal there all the time. And it's a little bit fast that she starts kissing him, but then again it could be everything for the country. I just had to kiss him, I had to kind of sneak out then.
Yeah, it's a part of her mission. She has to do it, get it over and done with. You know, the weird thing is that Roger Moore doesn't look like he can kiss really well.
Yeah, that's
so maybe that's like, let's get it over with.
Yeah. Kissing and running, it's always a little bit. He would need a stunt double. No, he's a fantastic kisser. He must be a fantastic kisser. I mean, come on, Roger Moore. So, should we continue the celebration?
Would you like to have one more starter, maybe?
Why not? Why not?
Yeah. So, it's obviously there in the restaurant Springtime because they're having asparagus.
I didn't think there were any seasons in space.
James Bond eats his asparagus with béarnaise sauce. I've always thought you eat it with hollandaise sauce.
Okay.
But hey, sauce is a sauce is a sauce. And I do love the tarragon that's in this sauce, so béarnaise sauce it is.
But then again, Ian Fleming, he has some kind of weird things about food. He, a couple of times at least, mocks Scandinavian food, and
he doesn't love a salmon as we talked last time.
And there was something else now with this also.
Salmon again.
Was it salmon
Yeah.
again?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm gonna dig in because I love asparagus and I do love Bernaise sauce. I'm like a woman James Bond.
female James Bond.
That's the word. Damn it, it's so good.
It's so simple, but it's so freaking good.
Yeah, it's so simple and it's so good. I mean, I don't know, it took me 30 seconds to do this sauce. Well, a little bit of prep time, but still under 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Crap, that's it.
Then also from a prop builder's or a collector's point of view, it's a fun movie because there's so much going on. There are fantastic gadgets, and then there's all the Drax things that can be built and made. And James Bond has, of course, this fantastic dart gun, the wrist dart gun, which is fantastic. I tried to build it when I was a kid or young, but I couldn't. It was too difficult. But now I have
But
it.
did you have a picture of it or did you see it just
No,
in the movie?
in the movie, so it
Yeah.
was difficult to remember. That's the problem.
For sure.
Yeah. Then of course he has the product placement with Seiko. This also has an exploding
Yeah, yeah.
thingy. Then yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's the fantastic. Is it called Glustron? I think the brand of the boat that opens up. The roof flies off and the hang glider wings
Oh
come
yeah,
out.
that's
And
a nice one. Really nice one.
and then all these things like these poison, is it ampoule? I don't know what it's called.
That's it.
But the kind of holder for the poisonous
Oh yeah.
gas.
Those in Venice.
Yeah. So all those, I built a version of it. I mean, it's not fantastic, but it's still a fun prop. And then there's all these guns, these space guns. This is one that I built. This actually is not seen in the movie, but there's some promotional pictures. This is a little bit looking like that. And all these made from a timing gun that's used for adjusting car engines. And they actually used in the movie the same timing light gun and built the space guns out of that. And I actually am so happy now because I got these glass rods finally. I had glue sticks, but Ed Maggiani sent me. He was kind enough to send me these, so now it's looking like it should. Okay, so what do we have?
So when they're playing bridge with Drax
In the book?
in the book, James Bond is ordering lamb cutlets with new potatoes and peas. And because we have this amazing sauce,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be so rude and add it here because it's gonna go beautifully with this dish.
This is probably the rudest thing I've ever filmed.
But the great thing with lamb cutlets is that you can grab them in your hand
Yeah.
and eat and enjoy them.
And that's just what we're gonna do.
We so are. Oh, you got the one with the sauce.
Did you get any sauce? Dip it there.
Oh my god. There's something so satisfying eating off the bone.
Yeah. There's probably some primitive things that still we have. Primitive reactions remaining in our genes.
I'm a K woman. Nice.
I mean, these are peas, but they are fresh, and then with this sauce, it's fantastic. Are you going to take it away, or can I taste the potato?
Please.
Jesus, it's fast. I mean, it's a 5-course dinner eaten in 12 minutes.
It is a little bit like that. So far, do you have any favorite here? We have the bone marrow, we have the asparagus, we have the cucumber sandwiches, and we have these lamb cutlets with the fresh peas and new potatoes.
The bone marrow was interesting, and it was good, but it's a little bit kind of for an acquired taste, which I do have. But then it's kind of easy and enjoyable food when there's what do you call those, asparagus.
Asparagus?
Yeah, and then this is in a way comfort luxury food.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
it has just gotten better.
Okay, good. We actually just have one dish left.
No, we have some cucumber sandwiches left, so no problem. Let's go back to the second round.
I'll just quickly, because this is such a special dish.
Yeah.
I'll just build it here quickly. It's
Okay.
a green salad that James Bond orders in the book for lunch after a meeting with M. And his special thing is that it is a dressing with mustard,
Okay.
which doesn't feel so special maybe nowadays, but seems to have been in the 50s. So I'm just gonna dress every leaf and then you just dig in. It's gonna be really nice.
Okay. I'm all for digging in. So do we eat with?
Yeah, oh, you can take a leaf. It's fine.
Well, I think it's such a fancy restaurant. I don't want to eat with my fingers.
I'm gonna go cave woman.
Oh. Women in Finland are so brutal.
Oh,
Works.
yeah, it's so
Yeah.
fresh and nice. Really nice starter or ending, actually. I'm gonna have one more because it's so fresh.
One highlight in the movie is, of course, when James Bond goes hunting with Drax, and they shoot with shotguns, shoot birds, and then James Bond shoots, and Drax says, "You missed, Mr. Bond."
Yeah.
And he's noticed that there's this guy in the tree that has his aim at James Bond, and at that point, of course, the guy falls down from the tree, and James Bond says, "Did I?"
It's a beautiful
Yeah.
scene. It might
It's
be one of my favorites
Yeah,
all
it's
time.
somehow
James
so
Bond.
beautiful. Yeah. So I mean, there are some ridiculous things. That the first ridiculous thing is actually, I think, the Bondola, the James Bond gondola, and there it's kind of, that's the first time it kind of becomes ridiculous comedy a little bit when he goes up with it. Actually, already when they drive over one gondola and the couple continues kissing,
Yeah.
and they don't notice anything, and the guy there a little bit like that. It's a little bit like ridiculous, but okay. And then they go. Then he drives up with the gondola on the square in Venice, yeah. And that's one of the things everyone hates with the pigeon that takes the double take,
Yeah.
and
And the guy who's pouring.
wine there and everything. But then again, okay, it was still at James Bond at that point. It was kind of in a way a family movie. It was a little bit like Indiana Jones. It was adventure and it was humor. I still might build that gondola one day as a miniature because it's
The one
still
in two parts? Or
no, the one
can go,
that the kind of
okay.
one, the hovercraft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't it do it for real?
Yeah, they did it for real, and I think the thing is that he had, was it so that he had 3 or 4 or 5 sets of the same costume that he was wearing, and every time it lifted up, he fell.
Yeah.
It kind of, what do you call it? Tipped over, and Roger Moore went into water. And on the last take, it was the last pair of same clothes he had dry. The last one, they managed to do it.
Oh, good.
So yeah, but it's kind of.
But I love that thing that they actually did do a lot of
Yeah.
things and stunts for
Yeah.
real. I mean,
It's true.
nowadays, not so much.
Yeah, that's
Or
the
maybe
thing.
we're going back to it now.
Yeah, it's true. They've gone back to it, and they do a lot of like practical props nowadays when they filmed.
Mandalorian.
Yeah, Mandalorian is a good example. Yeah, where they actually have Baby Yoda as a puppet
Yeah.
instead of CGI. So that was the thing I really love with the Bond movies, and there are some parts where they really had problems. For instance, when the boat was supposed to go over the fall, and it actually got stuck there, and it looks kind of bad because when Jaws comes with his boat, it would be cool if it flew like this. Wah,
Because
but
it
actually,
has speed.
Yeah, but actually they just pushed it, and it didn't have any speed, so it's going like this.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, but some of those they really had to invent things. For instance, in the beginning when they have the parachute jump fight, and that's kind of cool. They have then hidden parachutes under costumes, but luckily when you go like this, it blows. Your clothes are still going to be like this, so you don't notice it so much that you have parachutes there. But
I didn't notice it before you told me.
yeah,
I didn't have a clue.
you thought that he actually could fly when he did this.
That's also
Yeah.
one annoying part.
But then, so there they had a camera mounted on the helmet of the camera guy. But the problem was that when they were filming it and when they were planning to film it, the camera lens and the camera was so heavy, so it could have actually hurt his neck when the parachute opens.
Ah, okay.
So what they did is they found a prototype lens that was made out of plastic on some kind of camera fair. They found this prototype, they bought it, and they used it because it was so
Light.
So light, yeah.
Okay.
And also they had figured some kind of rope system that the parachute would open more slowly.
Ah.
And all of those things I really love.
Oh, that sounds really dangerous.
yeah.
You don't really want to have a parachute that opens more slowly.
No. I think it's a really fun movie. I love the soundtrack. I love those loungy ones because before that there was also a loungy soundtrack, and also the next two movies after this also have the loungy style. And I love those loungy songs.
Oh, for sure.
And I think it's kind of
Yeah.
also the beautiful soundtrack. And it's John Barry's music, so it's beautiful the whole way through. And I love it when they have the main title song, and then they have this kind of repeating in the movie in the background.
Instrumental.
It's really
Yeah.
and they
It's
make
really nice.
so freaking beautiful. It's the music is such a big part.
Yeah.
So it's the poster art.
Yeah.
It's the music. It's the set design, the miniatures, the acting,
Costumes,
the
the
costumes,
acting.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. And also, you said here earlier that it's not the violence action. It's the interesting action. That something's happening all the time.
And it's still, it's beautiful boat chases and stuff, and some ridiculous things here and there. But overall, it's a solid Roger Moore movie.
Yeah.
I think it's a fantastic movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's kind of a normal James Bond movie till the very end. But hey, thank you for the food,
You're so welcome, darling.
and thank you for joining us in the celebration of Moonraker, a movie that is worth watching.
Give it a
Be-
chance. It's
Yeah,
good.
It's good.
Cheers.
Cheers. Hey, this was fantastic.
Yeah.
Let's turn off the camera and let's continue eating and drinking.
Okay, let's.